Welcome to our 38th edition of Drive Chat. As viewers will know, we normally use this as an opportunity to chat with industry experts, leaders in their field, so that we can get a balanced perspective of what is happening in both the trucking industry and certainly in this instance, the media. We have as our guest today, Charleen Clarke, who is the Editorial Director of Focus on Transport and SHEQ Management, two superb publications. And for the purposes of this discussion, they are our official, and I say this again, our official media partner for our Fleet Safety Awards. And that is what's going to be the subject of our discussion. I'm inviting Charleen to join us and maybe just tell us a little bit about herself. Charleen, please do join us. There we are. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing a lot better than you. You sound awful.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
It was supposed to come across as all husky, all right. So, but,
You sound sick.
okay,
Shame.
but not sick enough to not meet up with you. And thank you for agreeing to this chat. As I indicated at the introduction, you are our official media partner for the event, Fleet Safety Awards. And just for those who may be seeing this for the first time, this is our 4th edition of Fleet Safety Awards. We started very small, and I must just tell you, Charleen, I don't know if you're aware of it, we gave away 10,000 Rand. This is during COVID. This year, we stand to give away about 250,000 Ks. So it's really made progress. And for the role that you play in this, I'm going to thank you in anticipation of what we're going to achieve. I've just got a few questions, and maybe you can just share with us your views. The first, what does it mean for you, or why have you chosen to partner with us as an official media partner for these events that we run, this one in particular?
Eugene, because road safety is something which is incredibly close to my heart. When we were busy putting together the next issue of Focus on Transport and SHEQ Management magazine, road safety is something that comes up all the time. In fact, it doesn't come up as often as it should, I believe.
Yeah.
I think we should be talking about it a lot more. And that is the reason why we've chosen to partner with you, because as far as I'm concerned, you can't talk about road safety too much. And so that's why we're fully committed and on board with the Fleet Safety Awards.
Thank you very much. Maybe just a little bit of background for those who may be viewing this for the first time. We choose not to be hypercritical of government. We know there's always things that they could or should be doing differently. But they've got the Department of Transport has got such a wide portfolio. And therefore, we have chosen to engage directly with the corporate world. And one of the reasons why we like your particular publication, because it speaks to decision makers. And if they can talk about road safety, well, then we've accomplished two things. So why do you think, maybe not for yourself, but why do you think media should play a role in promoting road safety?
Because members of the media can influence, can actually save lives, ultimately. If members of the media are writing about road safety and educating people, and it's a constant process that never, ever should stop, fewer people will actually die. It's as simple as that. The more we write about road safety, the safer we make our roads. There's a direct correlation to the number of deaths. And I know that I don't need to say it twice when I say to you, it's so important for members of the media to do that. In my opinion, members of the media don't write about road safety often enough because, quite frankly, it's not a sexy subject. It's much more enticing to be writing about the latest convertible that you're driving and doing 0 to 100 in 4.3 seconds or whatever on public roads. So a little bit of a criticism to our media colleagues out there. I don't believe enough is written about road safety. I understand the reason why. When I interview young journalists and I say to them, what would you like to write about? Oh, they'd like to write about those convertibles.
Yes.
Not one has ever said, I'd like to write about road safety. And that's something that we have to change within the world of the media. And people like you and me, who've been around for 49 million years, are well suited to making that change.
I think what Charleen is saying is that we are of the younger generation, all right? But just
No, I wasn't saying that.
just pick up on what you said about road safety not being sexy enough. When we engage in discussion and when I do presentations, and I must just share with you the one thing that I do when we're speaking to people who criticize the taxis, and they've got every reason to criticize them. I'll share a comment such as, taxi drivers are actually very good drivers. And you can imagine the audience erupting, no, stupid, etc., etc. And I follow that up with saying anybody who can drive a Zola Bug, which is with a vice grip as a steering wheel at 120 kilometers an hour, can't be a bad driver. It's just that they cannot engage in a meaningful manner with other motorists. So I think that when we consider our journalist friend out there, they have a vital role to play. And I trust that others will follow your example. Maybe just slightly off, and I know you're committed to this, but why do you think, and you've covered it in part, I suppose, but what are the critical issues that media can do in partnering or aligning their message with activities or functions such as this? How does that sound?
Where I think that partnerships such as ours, where we've got magazines and we're writing about the Fleet Safety Awards, where I think that is so, so important, there were two major factors really. First is recognition. There are some companies out there who are doing a sterling job when it comes to promoting safety in all spheres of their business, and not road safety only, it might be safety down in a mine. And I think it's good for members of the media to write about those people because, quite frankly, they deserve the recognition. They deserve the awards that you give them. And I think that by highlighting those, it's practical. We're showing practically what Company A is actually doing so that hopefully Company B sees what Company A is doing and firstly sees if I implement these various things, my people aren't going to die, which is remarkably good for business. Dead staff don't work very hard. Sorry to be so flippant. But secondly, if they also want to have their name in the limelights, because Company A has won a Fleet Safety Award, maybe that'll also encourage them to work a little bit harder. And quite frankly, without the role of the media, highlighting these awards, highlighting the winners, highlighting the companies that aren't doing a good job, and there are many of them, thank goodness for that, awards won't work because no one will know about it.
Yeah.
So it's essential to have a strong media partnership, I believe.
Thank you very much for highlighting something else, which maybe you'd like to comment on. Generally, the lack of road safety features very strongly in the media, correct? 50 people killed in a bus accident. And that term, of course, accident is also debatable. But when you have a look at the responsible role, and that is why we sought for a media partner to be able to have us outreach as wide as possible, because we're not asking anybody to pay to participate in it. We're saying, I'm happy to reward you, and I'm glad that some of the well-known companies have come on board. But what we introduced last year, just by way of note, is that not everybody can win as the best. And we wanted to also see that we encourage others, and we gave away for the first time, and we're doing it again this year, the ones that have made the most improvement. Because I think if you encourage those who want to do well, we then succeed two ways. So maybe a last parting point from you. Why do you think that we as a country, given all our challenges, should be promoting things such as this, our Fleet Safety Awards, in the interests of the country in terms of cost to the fiscus? What do you think? What's your comment over there, Charlie?
Well, there you know better than me, Eugene. Road accidents cost the country billions every single year. And it's not just about a loss of life, it's also about a loss of money at the end of the day. And our country cannot afford that. So by supporting an initiative like this, number one, we're saving lives, which is always going to be your goal and my goal, always. I mean, yesterday I was proofreading a magazine in terms of talking to the construction and mining industries. And it's a magazine that we're doing at SHEQ Management. And they were saying, the one company we were interviewing was saying that even though construction and mining are inherently dangerous jobs, they're losing more people out on the roads. More
Yes.
people are dying on the way to work or dying on the way home. And I believe that if we can change that situation, I don't know about you, but I will be giving myself a big fat pat on the back, even if
Yes.
we only save one life. Yes, there's the money, and we can save the country a lot of money, and we need to do that. South Africa is not financially positioned to be able to lose bucket loads of money. But if we can save a life, then you and I are on the right track.
Absolutely. If I can just pick up, of course, companies, the why of business, Simon Sinek's comment about people knowing what they do, how they do it, but very few people know why they do it. We went through
Yeah.
soul searching a couple of years ago, and what we arrived at is our why. It's got to be motive, is making a difference 1 day, 1 kilometer, one life at a time. And I think if we can do that between us and collectively with others, we can make a big difference. Just in terms of closing, before I ask you to give you your final thoughts, 200 billion or 220 billion was the last number I saw. It's costing the fiscus. 10% of that, we say, can you imagine, can go to education, health, and all of these other things. So please share with us your parting thoughts and with anybody else out there who may be thinking about road safety.
My parting thoughts would be, come on, everybody, let's all get on board. Let's all get on board this road safety bus, because the more people who are involved, the greater the impact that we'll have at the end of the day. And it really would be a wonderful thing that instead of us talking about South Africa having one of the worst road safety statistics in the world, which we all know, that is a fact. Imagine one day we can turn around and we can say, you know what? We used to have one of the worst safety statistics in the world. Now we have some of the best. I mean, wow, I've actually got goosies just thinking about that
Yeah.
because so many lives would be impacted, so many families would be impacted. It would just be the most extraordinary thing. And I like to have dreams. And sometimes those dreams are huge dreams. But I think we can do this. I think we can realize this dream if everyone gets involved.
Charleen Clarke, thank you very much for those parting words. Wise words indeed. And I trust that we're going to see you on when we do the awards. You will be our guest of honor, of course. So in anticipation of that date, in recognizing people and organizations who do a superb job, we're going to say thank you from our 38th edition of Drive Chat until we meet again. Charleen, have a good one. Thank you very much.